I stare at the bags, unable to move. My name is writ on one in black marker. My clothes, my books, my life. All sealed like trash ready for pickup. I try to laugh, but the sound dies. The air feels thick, heavy, cruel. You sold the house, I whisper. My mother nods as if it's obvious. The new owners want it immediately. I blink, unable to process the words. Sold, without me, without my consent. My siblings avoid my eyes. Marcus stares at his shoes. Elise scrolls her phone like it's nothing. Dylan adjusts his watch, pretending calm. My voice hardens. I own part of this house. Mom sighs, the way she does when I was 10. Technically, yes, but you stayed too long. We've calculated what you owe in rent. Her tone is smooth, practiced, heartless. Rent for the house I helped pay for. Rent for the only home I've ever known. The world tilts slightly beneath my feet. I remember my father's will, the lawyer's voice. Equal shares among all 5. I was only 8, but I never forgot. That promise meant safety, belonging, family. Now it's just paper and betrayal. I open one bag, desperate for proof. Sweaters, shoes, a photo frame cracked. The scarf I bought for her lies crushed inside. She must have gone through my things. Even my suitcase isn't mine anymore. Something breaks quietly inside my chest. I fold the scarf, place it in my pocket. The fabric feels like goodbye. Why now, I ask. Why like this? No one answers. The silence burns louder than words. Mrs. Howard from across the street stares. Her eyes full of pity and curiosity. I used to wave at her every morning. Now I can't meet her gaze. Mom clears her throat. You'll thank us later. This will make you independent. Independent, a word sharp as glass. They call it love, but it feels like exile. I lift one bag, heavier than I expect. The sound of plastic scraping pavement echoes. Every step feels like a verdict. I load the first bag into my car. Then the second, then the third. When I reach for another, a paper slips out. A real estate flyer, our house, my house. Photos of every room, perfect and staged. Even my bedroom, neat and violated. Listing date, 2 months ago. They planned this while I worked overtime. While I believed we were a family. My phone buzzes, a text from Elise. Need help moving, don't make this harder. Harder, as if betrayal wasn't enough. I open the family group chat. Screenshots of the listing, laughter. Marcus joking, do it when she's away. My hands shake, my throat burns. Every message feels like a knife. I close my eyes, forcing myself to breathe. They think they've won. But they've only taught me one thing. Blood doesn't always mean love. And sometimes, the only way to survive is to let the door close and never look back. That night, I sleep on my friend Ava's couch. The air smells like coffee and comfort. She makes tea, asks no questions. Her silence is the only kindness I can handle. I scroll through my phone, fingers numb. Mom's social media post appears first. A photo of her, Marcus, Elise, and Dylan. All smiling at a fancy restaurant downtown. Champagne glasses raised. The caption reads, "New beginnings for everyone. Everyone except me." The words sting more than the eviction. They celebrated my exile like a family reunion. I click Elise's comment. So glad we sold at the perfect time. Dylan replies, finally some peace. Peace bought with my heartbreak. I drop the phone onto the blanket. Ava sits beside me, her voice soft. You don't have to look at that. I nod, but my eyes still burn. I can't look away from the people I loved. They've turned my pain into a celebration. The next morning, I search for apartments. Every price feels like a punch. $1,800 for a single room. My savings barely cover 3 months. The future stretches like a dark tunnel. A notification pings. An email from my boss about my promotion. I can't even feel happy anymore. What's success worth when you have nowhere to go? Later, another message appears. A family group text. Mom's words glow on the screen. We had to make a tough decision. Emma refused to grow up. Sometimes love must be firm. My stomach twists. She's rewriting the story already. I imagine the cousins reading it. Nods of approval, whispers of pity. Aunt Mary replies, "You did the right thing." Uncle James adds, "She'll thank you later." I laugh, but it comes out like a sob. My hands tremble as I set the phone down. Ava watches from across the kitchen. "She's poisoning everyone against you," she says. I shrug, voice barely a whisper. She always wins the sympathy game. That evening, I see another post online. Mom has listed my childhood furniture for sale. My father's old dresser, the bookshelf he built. Each item described like a stranger's belonging. Cheap, quick, no sentiment attached. I take screenshots of everything. Proof, not revenge, just proof. When I visit a small apartment the next day, the manager frowns at the computer. "Your credit report shows unpaid bills." I freeze. "That's impossible." He turns the screen toward me. 5 accounts in my name, all overdue. The address isn't mine. Marcus's street. My mother used my social security number. The betrayal deepens like a second wound. I leave the office, dizzy and sick. My perfect record is gone. Even my identity isn't safe anymore. That night, I lie awake staring at the ceiling. Ava whispers from the next room, "You'll get through this." Maybe I will. But right now, all I can feel is the silence of being erased by the people who were supposed to love me most. The next morning, Ava hands me a notebook. "Write everything," she says. "Dates, messages, proof." Her tone is firm, not pitying. I open the first page and start listing names. Every lie, every debt, every photo. The truth fills the lines like quiet fire. By evening, the notebook feels heavier than grief. I send an email to a local attorney. He replies within hours, offering a free consultation. His words are sharp and clear. "You still own 20% of that property. They violated your inheritance rights." For the first time in weeks, I breathe differently. Relief and anger twist together inside me. I am not powerless. That night, I sit at Ava's kitchen table. Bills, papers, and coffee mugs scattered everywhere. My hands shake, but I keep writing. Timelines, bank records, copies of every message. Each page rebuilds a small piece of control. Ava looks over my shoulder and smiles. "See, you're fighting back already." Her words plant something new inside me. Courage, fragile but real. At work, my boss notices my exhaustion. I lie, blaming a cold. But when I open my laptop, focus returns. Work becomes my armor. Spreadsheets feel safer than people. Numbers don't lie, and contracts don't betray. Days blur into nights. I keep collecting proof and building my case. My lawyer confirms that the sale was illegal. He drafts letters, demands documents. Mom doesn't respond, but Marcus sends a text. "You're overreacting, let it go." I stare at the screen until the words blur. Overreacting, always the family label for me. When silence answers my pain, I turn to action. I email the utilities, dispute the fraud accounts. They start investigations under my name. The process is slow but steady. Each confirmation feels like a small victory. One afternoon, I visit another apartment. The manager, a man named Henry, reads my form. "Emma Ross," he asks, surprised. "You ran that campaign for River Cycle Shop." I nod cautiously. He laughs softly. "That's my brother's business. Your ads saved him from closing down." He leans back, smiling. I might have a place not listed yet. 2 days later, I sign the lease. The apartment is tiny but bright. The windows face east, and the air smells like new paint. I stand in the middle of the room and exhale. It isn't much, but it's mine. Ava helps me move in, carrying boxes and hope. She hangs curtains while I arrange my desk. "You're starting over," she says quietly. I nod, feeling it for the first time. Starting over doesn't mean weakness. It means survival with purpose. That night, I open my notebook again. Under the last line of evidence, I write one sentence. They took everything I had, but they can't take who I'm becoming. A week passes before my phone lights up again. It's a message from Mom. "Can we talk? Just coffee." My stomach tightens. Ava warns me not to go, but I agree anyway. Some part of me still wants answers. The cafe is bright and crowded. Mom sits by the window, waving like nothing happened. Her scarf is pale blue, the same color as the one I bought. The one she threw into a garbage bag. "You look tired," she says sweetly. I sit, my hands folded tightly. "We did what was best for you," she begins. "Sometimes children need a push." Her words sound rehearsed, practiced. I stare at her silent. "A push," I ask finally. "You mean betrayal?" She flinches, but recovers quickly. "Don't be dramatic, Emma. You always twist things." The calm tone only fuels my anger. "Did you twist the truth when you sold the house?" She sighs, glancing at the barista instead of me. "You wouldn't understand. We needed money. You weren't contributing enough." "I paid the taxes," I whisper, "every month." Her eyes flicker, guilt flashing like lightning. Then she smiles, cold and controlled. "You're young. You'll bounce back, you always do." I almost laugh. The casual cruelty stings worse than shouting. "Love doesn't throw someone's life in trash bags," I say. My voice is steady now. "Love doesn't steal their name or sell their home." People nearby begin to glance over. She lowers her tone, embarrassed. "You're being ungrateful. I raised you alone." I shake my head slowly. "You raised me to obey, not to live." Her lips press into a thin line. "After all I've done for you," she snaps. For the first time, I don't shrink. I lean forward, meeting her eyes. "I don't owe you my silence." I stand, leaving money for my untouched coffee. Behind me, her voice rises. "Emma Grace Ross, don't you walk away from me." Heads turn. The sound follows me out the door, sharp and desperate. Outside, the air feels cleaner. I stop, breathing hard but not from fear. Something inside me is shifting. Not rage, not sorrow. Something lighter, almost calm. For the first time, her voice doesn't pull me back. I walk to my car, the sunlight hitting my face. Freedom doesn't roar, it whispers. It sounds like silence where control used to live. When I close the car door, my reflection stares back. Eyes red but alive. I realize I don't need her approval anymore. Not today, not ever. The road ahead feels uncertain but mine. I start the engine, whispering to myself. I'm done begging for love that hurts. Then I drive away, leaving her words behind like dust. Weeks turn into months. Work becomes my sanctuary. Late nights at the office feel safer than home ever did. My focus sharpens, my confidence rebuilds. The Seattle clients request me by name. My boss nods with quiet approval. "You've earned this, Emma," he says. The promotion I once dreamed of is finally real. But I celebrate alone with takeout and silence. Success feels hollow without peace. Then, one evening, my phone rings. Mom's name flashes on the screen. I let it ring 3 times before answering. Her voice trembles, softer than I remember. "Emma, something terrible happened." My heart hesitates but doesn't race. "What is it?" I ask flatly. "The money from the house, it's gone." She explains between shaky breaths. She trusted an old friend to invest it. He disappeared with everything. Her tone wavers between guilt and desperation. Marcus and Elise are furious. I have nowhere to go. She pauses, waiting for my sympathy. I stay silent, letting the words settle. Finally, she adds, I'll need to stay with you for a while. The old me would have agreed instantly. The new me feels something different, clarity. I'll think about it, I say calmly. Her voice sharpens. You can't just abandon me. I breathe in slowly, steady and controlled. I didn't abandon you, Mom. You abandoned me months ago. She gasps, but I end the call. That night, Ava brings pizza and a bottle of wine. We sit on the floor, surrounded by paperwork and laughter. I knew she'd come crawling back, Ava says. She always does when things collapse. I nod, staring at the ceiling. But this time, I decide the terms. We spend the night researching senior housing. Ava organizes a spreadsheet by cost and amenities. This one has a garden, she says, pointing at the screen. She always liked flowers. It's strange how pity and peace can coexist. The next morning, I visit my therapist, Dr. Reed. Her office smells like chamomile and safety. Your mother's situation isn't your emergency, she reminds me. What boundaries feel right to you? We craft a plan together. Clear, firm kind, but not self-sacrificing. I will help financially within limits. No living together, no manipulation. Family therapy mandatory if support continues. When I leave her office, my hands no longer shake. Later, I call Mom and ask to meet at a cafe. She arrives with a small suitcase. Her eyes search my face, calculating. I slide the senior housing brochure across the table. It's a nice place. I already paid the deposit. Her smile freezes. I don't need charity housing. I need my daughter. I meet her gaze without blinking. You have her help, but on my terms. For once, she doesn't shout. She just looks tired, defeated human. As I walk away, the weight finally lifts. This isn't revenge. It's freedom wrapped in boundaries and truth. A year passes quietly. The city feels different now, softer somehow. My new condo catches the morning light. The walls are pale, the air smells like calm. I hang my photographs one by one. Landscapes, sunsets, the lake I once loved. Each frame feels like a piece of me returned. The last photo goes on the wall above my desk. 15 black garbage bags lined at the gate. The day everything broke, and everything began. I keep it there to remember how far I've come. Not bitterness, just proof of survival. Work flourishes beyond what I imagined. The Seattle campaign wins national attention. My boss calls me into his office one morning. Director of Marketing, he says, handing me the letter. I smile, this time without hesitation. I earned every inch of this moment. That evening, laughter fills my home. Ava arranges snacks, while Dr. Reed pours wine. Even my brother Dylan joins, quieter, gentler. Therapy changed him too. He helps hang string lights across the balcony. Their glow dances on the glass walls. From garbage bags to this, Ava says, raising her glass. We toast with soft laughter and teary eyes. For the first time, joy doesn't feel borrowed. When everyone leaves, the apartment hums in silence. I open a folder on my desk. Inside are documents for a small grant. Emergency, housing deposits for young adults. People forced out by their own families. No judgment, no conditions. Just a place to start over. I name it the Horizon Fund. Because even endings can open into light. I send the paperwork before midnight. Then I sit by the window, watching city lights flicker. My phone buzzes, a message from Mom. Therapy tomorrow at 2, don't be late. I smile faintly. Her tone still carries control, but less poison. At least she's showing up. The next afternoon, we sit in Dr. Reed's office. Mom perches on the couch, hands clasped tight. She glances at me, then at the floor. Her team doubled their clients this quarter, she says. Pride seeps into her voice, hesitant but real. I don't correct her or hide my smile. Progress doesn't need perfection. Dr. Reed nods between us. Growth takes time, but you've both come far. Mom exhales slowly, shoulders dropping. She doesn't need me anymore, she admits. And somehow, that makes it easier to love her. The room feels still, almost sacred. I reach for my tea, steady hands, steady heart. When the session ends, we walk out together. The sky outside glows gold with evening light. I drive home with windows down and music soft. Inside, my photographs greet me like old friends. I light a candle and whisper to the air. Forgiveness isn't forgetting. It's remembering without pain. And that's finally enough. The night is quiet after everyone leaves. The soft hum of the city floats through the window. I stand in my office, holding a small frame. The photograph of 15 garbage bags stares back at me. It no longer hurts to look at it. It feels like a chapter finally closed. I hang it on the wall above my desk. Below it sits a new folder labeled Horizon Fund. Inside are approved applications, stories of strangers. People who once stood where I did, lost and unseen. Their names remind me why I survived. Not for revenge, but for purpose. I sip my tea, breathing in the calm. The air smells like paper, ink, and freedom. The phone vibrates, an email from the company. Congratulations, Director Ross. Your promotion is official. I smile softly, tears warming my eyes. Outside, dawn touches the skyline in gold. A year ago, I had nothing but pain. Now I have peace, my own name, my own life. Sometimes healing isn't forgetting. It's turning broken pieces into light for others to follow.